Raising prices is one of the easiest ways to skyrocket the profits in your business, but it's also one of the scariest things business owners can do. In this video, I'm going to break down how we sent out one letter with one price increase and how that generated over $200,000 in profit for our local business. I'm going to go over some of the top tips and strategies that businesses are using to increase their prices and reduce or even eliminate customer cancellations. And we're going to go over the dangers of not raising prices at all, which are pretty significant, to be honest. And for those that stick around to this end of the video, I'm also going to share a pricing chart that breaks down exactly how many customers you can lose based on your profit margins to still make just as much money. For those that don't know, my name is William. I built several multi-million-dollar home service companies, including a multi-million-dollar pooper scooper business in the Pacific Northwest. I'm also the founder of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about raising prices today. For me, it was something that I was a little bit intimidated by when I was first starting my entrepreneurial journey, but now it's probably one of my favorite activities, and raising prices is something that we do at least once a year. So to kick things off, I'm going to tell you guys about the business that increasing prices has made the biggest impact on for me personally. That's going to be my pooper scooper business. So a little background on the industry for those that don't know, we literally go to people's backyards and we scoop up their dog poop, and we have all of our customers on a subscription basis. So we'll come out either once a week, twice a week, once every other week, and we will scoop the poop and we'll bill the customers on the first of the month. They all have a set price on that particular subscription for their service. When we first started, we were only charging customers about $70 a month on average, and we have increased prices every single year by 10 to 15%. We've never lost more than 1% of our recurring customer base from a price increase. So probably the biggest one we did was last year, and we raised everybody's subscription by $12 a month on average. And at the time, we had around 1,500 recurring customers. So as you can imagine, that made a pretty gigantic increase to the profitability of that business. So I'll just walk you through kind of the quick math on what happened. So we had 1,500 customers. We increased their average price by about $12 per month. Multiply those numbers together, and that's going to give you an extra $18,000 a month in additional revenue. That doesn't cost any more money for us to fulfill that service because we still have the same amount of customers still scooping the same amount of poop for the same amount of dogs. So the vast majority of that $18,000 goes right down to the bottom line. And kind of what was the feedback from customers? Most of them didn't even notice the price increase, to be honest. And the other ones, they expected it because it's something that happens every single year. All in all, from that increase, we only lost 22 out of our 1,500 customers, which is just a drop in the bucket. So as you can tell, results like that, it's something that I am going to continue doing year after year for my business. Now that you've seen the impact that a price increase can have on a real business, it's time to start looking at some strategies you can implement to raise prices for your own company. So strategy number one is going to be more of a mindset than a strategy, and that's really to not make that big of a deal out of your price increase. I know as business owners, raising prices is a really scary thing to do. If you lose too many customers or your conversion rates drop off too far, it could be really devastating for your business. But from my own personal experience, most customers aren't going to care. They're not going to notice. And better yet, you'll probably even have customers that reach out and tell you that it's about time that you raised your prices. We knew we've been getting a great deal for years, and we have no problem paying you guys that extra money. We love the service and we're going to keep going. So that was one thing that surprised me. Every time we do a price increase, we have customers that reach out and tell us, hey, yeah, we knew this was coming and we appreciate the service. One thing to keep in mind, the next strategy or mindset, I guess you can call it, is to keep things simple. So the way that we do our price increases is around 30 days before the increase actually goes into effect, we will mail the customers a letter. We'll stamp it. We'll literally put it in the mail. We're not going to email them. We're not going to text them. We're not going to call them. We're just going to send them that letter, and that's going to be their official notice of that price increase. The reason we do this is, going back to step one, we don't want to make a bigger deal out of that price increase than it really is. If you're calling people up and you're texting them and you're emailing them, you're just price increase, price increase, price increase, price increase. That's all that they're seeing and hearing. It's going to have a lot more negative impact than just sending out one correspondence to them. So, and within that letter, I like to just include a couple of reasons for the price increase. Right now, there's a lot of inflation, so that's a great thing to put in there. It could be fuel prices, labor prices, whatever it might be. I just add a couple things as far as the additional costs within your business that go up every single year. Put that in your letter. Keep it super simple, less than one page. And honestly, that part should be less than one paragraph, and just send it out. Strategy number 3 to reducing the number of customers that cancel because of a price increase is going to be to set expectations with your customer base. What this looks like for us is every time we sign up a new subscriber for our services, we will send them an FAQ video that explains exactly what to expect from the service, how our billing works, and we also include a section about price increases, letting them know as the markets change and the cost of doing business gradually goes up over time, we also have to adjust our subscription pricing, and that we generally do that on an annual basis. It's just kind of setting the groundwork and the foundation to let those customers know that there will be price increases coming, and we're going to do everything we can to keep them reasonable by adjusting them annually rather than doubling prices every 5 or 10 years, which I see a lot of companies do, which I would not recommend if you could avoid that. I know for a lot of you guys it might be too late to do that, so I would just include a little line about that in your price increase letter that you're going to send out. Just let them know that as the cost of doing business changes, so might our pricing for our goods or services. Keep it super simple. Kind of as a final bonus tip, most of your customers aren't going to care that the prices went up, but there might be a few that do, and there's nothing saying that if they call in and complain about the price increase that you can't cut them a deal or even leave them on the same price that they currently have. If that's going to save them as a customer, it might be worth it to make a deal with them. Just something to keep in mind. The final tip or consideration that I'm going to give you on raising your prices is that nothing's set in stone. If you have customers that call in and complain about the price increase and want to cancel, you can still wheel and deal with those people. You don't have to hold them to the new price if you don't want to. It's your business and you have the freedom to make whatever choices that you want. If you are worried about a lot of customers canceling, that's just something that you can kind of keep in the back of your mind. So if somebody calls up, they're mad about the price increase, you'll just say, "Hey Sally, you've been a great customer, you've been with us for X amount of time, and because of that we're going to honor your same price for the next 6 months," or whatever kind of special deal you want to give them, make them feel good. The way that I like to do this is to put a timeline on it, whether it's a couple months, 6 months, the next year, just so that they then have that expectation set that the price is going to be going up, but they've been such a valuable part of your company and a great client that you're willing to work with them a little bit. That's my final tip. As I said, it's your business. You have the freedom to make whatever choices you want within your business. While raising prices to make additional profits can be great, the far more important takeaway from this video is that you have to raise your prices just to stay in business nowadays. I'm going to read you guys just a short story that really drives this point home, and like if you take anything away from this video, it's that you absolutely need to raise prices if you want to stay in business for the long term. Here we go. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, there was a small bakery called Sweet Delights. The bakery had been a community favorite for over a decade, known for its delicious pastries and warm atmosphere. Jane, the owner, prided herself on keeping her prices affordable, believing that this was the way to keep her loyal customer base. As years went by, the cost of ingredients and utilities began to rise steadily. However, Jane was hesitant to raise her prices. She feared losing her loyal customers and worried that higher prices might drive them away. So she kept the prices the same, hoping to make up for the increased cost by working longer hours and cutting down on expenses wherever she could. Despite her efforts, the financial strain slowly began to show. The quality of the ingredients she could afford started to drop, and the once pristine bakery began to look a bit run down. Jane was exhausted, working late into the night and opening early in the morning. The stress was taking a toll on her health and her enthusiasm for her business. One day, a new bakery opened a few blocks away. It was modern, stylish, and offered a range of pastries made with high-quality ingredients. Their prices were slightly higher, but they justified it with a superior product and a trendy environment. Curious customers started flocking to the new bakery, leaving Sweet Delights quieter and emptier each day. Jane watched in dismay as her once thriving business began to dwindle. She realized too late that her fear of raising prices had prevented her from keeping up with the changes around her. She hadn't been able to invest in better ingredients, maintain her shop, or innovate her offerings. In her effort to keep prices low, she had sacrificed the very things that made her bakery special. I cannot emphasize enough that if you don't raise your prices to maintain your quality of service, you're either going to lose all your margin and be stressed out just like Jane, or worse yet, you are going to go out of business. So at some point, you will have to raise your prices, and in my opinion, it's better to do that now than years down the road. As a thank you for everybody that made it this far in the video, I'm now going to share with you a price increase table that essentially tells you what percentage of your customer base you can afford to lose to make this exact same amount of profit based on how your business currently performs. So I stumbled across this information on the Profits Collective extensive blog. I'll link that down in the description if you want to check out the rest of that article on your own. I'm just going to quickly go over an example of how this works, and you can take a screenshot, go to the blog, and you can reverse engineer this for your own business. So on the left column of this chart, it's going to say GPM. That's going to stand for gross profit margin. And then on the top column, that's going to be the price increase that you want to implement within your business. And all these numbers in between are going to be the percentage of customers that you can afford to lose based off of those numbers. So just as a quick example, let's say we want to increase prices by 10% and we have a 30% gross profit margin. We will just go down, match the columns, and you will see you can afford to lose 25% of your entire customer base and make the same amount of profit. So if you had 1,000 customers, you can literally afford to lose 250 of them and make the same amount of take-home pay. So super powerful tool. I literally check this chart every time before I want to do a price increase, and it hasn't got me in trouble yet, but looking at these numbers, it always makes me want to bump up that price increase percentage. But typically I'm sticking between that 10 to 15% per year as a pretty safe mark for my businesses anyways. Check that chart out. As I mentioned, I will link that blog post in the description. There you have it. That was my guide to increasing prices in your business without losing customers. I hope you guys found this information valuable. If you did, it would mean a lot to me if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, and dropped a comment letting us know what industry you're in. And if you do happen to be in the pooper scooper business and you want more resources to grow your business, you can check out the other videos on this channel. You can check out our free blog at scoopstart.com. And if you're really looking to spruce things up, you can check out the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School. If you join that, you'll have direct access to me, tons of other business owners in the industry, as well as a full array of pooper scooper business courses. Really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day.